I single-handedly broke up my marriage. You're an awful person.
You're 24 years old. Why would I listen to you? Why would you be giving therapy and advice to people who clearly need it? It doesn't make any sense, Ari. This is a horrible idea.
You're listening to
unlicensed
therapy with Ari Manis.
How do you get the numbers up?
You get Jamie Kennedy to come on. You pull in the big guns.
Dude, I can't even get 1,000 views.
Yeah, you can. Would you do a podcast?
I kind of, but I'm not really there yet.
Okay.
I need to be set up like
consistency.
This.
So the there's a problem. You got to do it every week.
Yeah.
You got to pull in all the favors. You know, you got to get the Jamie Kennedys and the Theo Vaughns and the Andrew Santinos.
But
the bigger names.
What happens if you just want to talk sometimes and do it without?
You could do solo, but then it's just your fans. If you want to reach that new audience to get the new fans, you got to pull in the big guns, the Hollywood show business people.
But there are podcasts without interviews.
There's Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn, but even he started bringing on guests.
He has guests.
Yeah. But he did it for a while with no guests. Is that from McDonald's?
Phil's.
Where's that? I've never been there. It looks good.
Oh, it's down the street. I would have got you one.
Oh, it's all good. Oh, Phil's Coffee. Yeah, I've been there.
Are you ready to start? Did you weird it out with the meeting?
Know.
I'm hungry,
No.
dude.
No, yeah.
I'm going to eat while we're talking about my problems that I didn't know I had.
It's good. I got state-of-the-art equipment here. I'll cut out all your munches.
Beautiful.
What's up? What'd you do today before this?
Woke up.
That's it?
Yeah.
Slept in? Have you ever been a morning person or no?
Never. I was
That's
thinking
good.
about this. Like, I see these people getting up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. to work
Oh,
out.
that's impossible.
And thank you. And I think we're have probably the same, DNA. Where we're like, I also stayed up until 5:30.
Yeah.
I was like organizing.
5:30. That's late.
I know.
And you're not even doing drugs up that late.
No.
You're just
surfing
the internet.
My head, yeah.
Yeah.
Cleaning up shit, organizing shit.
That's
Watching
what your
videos.
assistant's for.
Yeah, I know, but I have to stay on top of her.
I asked her out twice. She said she's married.
She is.
Yeah.
You asked her out twice?
Yeah. The first time she said she was married, and the second time she said she was still married.
Why? So at what point do you not realize that she's married?
No, now I realize. Then I just asked the third time as a joke, but the third time was a genuine joke.
You're deep in my assistance.
No, wait, you have multiple?
No, her.
No, I just met her once. I remember at the ice house, she came in with you, and I was like, who is that?
You like her.
She's married, so I don't like her anymore.
All right.
I mean, I like her as a friend, as a business acquaintance.
Yeah. Have coffee with her.
Yeah. She seems cool. Oh, I want to tell you this story about the time you won't even remember it.
Is this on? Do we start?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I wanted to
You
tell
didn't even do an intro.
No intro, baby.
I
I'll do
like
the intro
that.
off here. But this is a story of my first interaction with you.
Oh,
That
shit.
You won't even remember it.
Oh, shit.
It's good. No, it's good. You look good in it.
Okay.
So I was doing this bar show at the Pikey. I was performing on it. Doing stand-up on it.
Yep.
And it was packed, actually. There was a full crowd in there, and it was good. And I go up there, and I am bombing horrendously. Like
Eating a cock.
eating a cock.
A beautiful fat hog.
I addressed it one time. That didn't even get a laugh. They just said, "Come on, man, finish up your shit," or something like that. Like they weren't heckling. It was I made a comment like, "I'm bombing right now," and they're like, "Come on, do the next joke," or something like that. They're just like, "Move on with it." It was one of the worst bombs I had in a long time. This is a few years ago. I hear one person in the back cracking up. And I look in the back, and it's you. And I'm like, and we don't know each other. And I'm like, oh, great. Jamie Kennedy, my childhood hero, is in the back watching me eat a dick. And I get off stage, and you're like, dude, that was funny, man. You had some funny jokes. And I was just horrible. And I was like, what a night. Only in Hollywood, baby.
But it made you feel better.
It made me feel better and worse at the same time.
But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was very supportive, and you were so nice. And I didn't know you, and I was like, well, what a nice guy. But I was like, man, I did not want to bomb in front of Jamie Kennedy.
Well, A, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's an honor. B, I think that was David Murphy's Pikey show.
That's exactly what show it was.
So it's David Murphy.
So you remember?
Yeah, because now I remember because I'll tell you exactly because I went
Yeah.
up that night and David Murphy said, "Oh, I got a new show. I got a new show." And then I realized I think that was his first show.
Yeah, it was. But it was packed.
It was packed, and I have to tell you, if I laughed, you were funny, right?
Thank you.
You were probably
Yeah.
making me laugh, and it's like
Yeah.
things that comics do, or maybe I saw your pain how you were trying for these people. But I have to tell you, that
Yeah.
was a tough crowd. Like I think I did okay that night,
Okay.
and I do remember, but I remember there was like a lot of models there,
Yeah.
and they were just like looking at me, like they weren't comedy
Right.
types. They were like, what? Like, that was not an easy, and it was jammed. It was
Yeah.
like performing in a tuna can.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
people like really right here.
Yeah.
So it was weird. So
That was
not
weird. But that was my first interaction with you. And I
Wow.
remember just thinking, what a cool guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Like, I would see when I started comedy about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I moved here, I would see your name pop around, especially kind of like on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really saw you pop in around town up until a few years ago. Why did you take like a hiatus of doing spots around LA?
Where would you see my name on the road when you were on the road?
Yeah, just kind of on the, I would do a club and I'd see maybe a poster that you had been there. I don't know if it was recent or old or whatever, but I would see your name pop up.
Well, comedy changed. I'd like you to tell me your opinion of it, but like the clubs in town were showcase clubs.
Uh-huh.
So you would get in the clubs, get your 5 to 7 minutes to get a TV show spot.
Right.
And you get on TV. And then from that, you start getting, sitcom and movie credits.
Right.
And then you work your way up. And then you build your name. And then you go on tour. And then you do your first special. And you tour it out. And you do your next special. And you write and stuff. So comedy, I would pop in and around town at different shows, promoter shows like Skylar. And I would pop in at the store. And I'd pop into the factory. But not as much because I was always doing it. But in around the end of 2015, early 2016, I met Melissa McQueen. And she's like, you got to start going here and you got to start going there because there's like these shows that are really hot. And I started going out. And if I was doing 6 or 7 shows a week on the road, my mindset was, why would I go and do 10 minutes in town? I got the material.
Yeah.
I think I got the practice.
Yeah,
I got the
totally.
money.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? A spot for $100, right?
Right.
And then I realized that, I went into town and people that are playing arenas and theaters are in town doing 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So something changed because I think everybody just started doing everything.
Right.
I think podcasts got humongous.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix made it humongous and comedy changed. So people were telling me, if you're not in town, you're not in the game.
Right. So you're like, I need to get back in the loop here.
Yeah, because I never stopped. I just wasn't doing town really.
Right.
But tell me if I'm crazy. It's like if you're doing 15 minutes on a show on Tuesday, but you already played the Chicago Improv on the weekend, what's the point? But it is the point because everyone's doing it.
Well, it's not even just what's the point too. For me, it's sometimes I'll get back in town from doing a week of shows and I'm like, I need a few days off, man. I'm going out again in a few days back on the road. I need to just chill.
Yes.
So there's more, for me, it's almost more of that.
What happened was everybody who's ever done comedy, I think comedy in the last 4 years has gotten hotter than it's ever been.
Yeah.
You've only been doing it 8 years, but you'll ask the elders.
Totally. Yeah.
And from people from the 70s, 80s, 90s to now, to YouTubers, to whatever, everyone, wrestlers, stars,
Everyone's doing it.
unstars. No, but and everyone who's a name, everyone who's good, everyone who's not good, everyone is doing it as much as they can.
Yeah.
And so that type of work ethic, and I've seen with people, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this person's productivity is insane. And it's like, I got to be in the game. So you just can't be on the road.
Right.
Because you will be on the road. And I will say, you get better as a comedian. You get better on the road for stage and strength, but you get better for material in town because you can rely on some hackinisms on the road.
Right.
That you can do in a small
and
town.
when it's all your fans, they're going to laugh more. And then when you're here in town, they may be your fan, but they're also a fan. They just watch 10 other comics.
No, and I know. And this is a really good point. It's like, It's true. It's like I would just play to my fans, and I'd be like, why do I want to go here? If I have my own fan base, why do I need to go here? And then you're right. To be really good, you got to make yourself uncomfortable again.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to. And it's like, I'm working all day. I'm running around. I got an audition. I got to pitch, and I got to do 12 minutes. And it's like, I got to follow 5 amazing comics, but it makes you better.
Yeah.
So you're right. It is, but it's true. It's how to stay good
In the game. Yeah, and good. And now I've noticed, so you went from doing the road.
Yeah.
Now you're in town doing your thing, going up everywhere.
Would you say I'm definitely a presence in town?
Yeah. I was going to say not only that, it seems like, and I don't mean this in a bad way,
Say whatever you want.
seems like you'll do any gig people offer you. And it's like cool though, because like the Pikey gig, which wasn't a bad show, it was packed, but it wasn't a gig where I'm like, oh, Jamie Kennedy, why is Jamie Kennedy here? He's a movie star, but it's cool.
Well, I mean, you tell me. I think some comedians that you really like and that are really big or not big, I think there's a lot of people doing that now.
Yeah.
And I think that, maybe I was one of the people that helped do that. But I think that comedy became a community unlike it's ever been, where open micers meet, arena acts, and they talk, and they might go, yo, pop in. I think with podcasting and social media, we have become more...
Yeah, more of a community.
I could say no, but it's like if I'm not doing anything, I have to get better. You have to be able to play every room. I played every club last week. There's 7 clubs in town. I played all of them. And
you have a deep love for comedy, and I know that because I don't remember how many years ago, but you made the movie Heckler, the documentary, which I remember watching when I was a kid. Not a kid, but a young man who hadn't done comedy yet. But I remember watching
And what was its impact on you? And then I'll tell you why I meant it.
So I haven't watched it. I haven't rewatched it since I did comedy, but I remember watching it and thinking, man, people are assholes. And it was interesting. It was interesting to see that behind the scenes take, because you hear about hecklers, but you didn't, maybe most people probably have never actually seen one or don't fully know what one is or get behind, but you actually interviewed them. You found them. Were you getting a lot of hecklers? Did you get more hecklers than the average comedian, would you say?
No, it wasn't that. It was that at the time I had a concentrated laser of pain pointed at me. I was getting ready to do my first special. I had come off a movie that didn't work.
Which movie?
It was a sequel to The Mask.
Oh, Son of the Mask, yeah.
Yeah. I came off horrible reviews off of that.
So you're in a bad mood because of that. You're in a bad state of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in a good... pained. Very painful. So I came off of that, and I got a deal to do my first special. And so I started going out to the clubs, and people would... say 1 or 2 things, nothing crazy. Like, you'd say when you're like putting on your pants, one-legged cam or something, that's always happens. It's nothing big.
Yeah.
But like, I would interact with people because I get tired of material. And I started seeing that the interactions were funnier and more alive than my material. Mm-hmm. So I started putting them together, and the director who was working with me on the special, I'm like, dude, this is becoming its own thing. And he's like, me, and he was like, dude, I think this is a project. I'm like, yeah. So we started talking about heckling and what's the nature of it. Why did it happen? So we started we started stringing it together. And then he's like, we got to interview people. I'm like, yeah. The first interview we got was Joe Rogan. And Joe started us off, and then Bobby Lee. And then we started going down the line.
Yeah.
And their experiences. And everybody had these experiences, so I felt much better. And then as I was making it, the reviews of the movie were just... We never had online, dude. Online became... It was like 10 years old, but all these blogs started popping up with something called blogger.com. I don't know. Uh-huh. And everyone was a reviewer. It wasn't just professional people. And they were just ruining me and going to my past movies and career. And I was like, what the fuck? So then it started evolving into online heckling. So live heckling.
Right. That's right. You had reviewers on it too. Someone who wrote something nasty online about you.
Yeah. So what the movie really is about is what is the nature of heckling. the nature of heckling used to just be live heckling.
Mm-hmm.
And they were considered bastards. But they're the best hecklers and the bravest because they'll do it to your face.
Right.
And then reviewers started...
Or the drunkest.
Yeah. But reviewers started heckling too. They would heckle you in the review of stuff. That I've never saw that before. And then just people online, the comments became hecklers.
Yeah, so, YouTube comments, Instagram, everything.
So the whole world at that moment in time was a convergence of a bomb movie, doing my first special, coming into my own as a young man. And
how old are you at this time?
I was 35.
Okay.
And fucking this online thing that we never experienced on this planet, where everyone can talk shit about you hundreds of times over. So I was like, and that's why I did it. And then
it's still relevant, I would say, to this day as much now as ever.
More.
There's so many
people come up to me all the time about it. It's one of like 7 things people talk to me about.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool.
And it came out.
It was an independent movie though, right?
Totally. I made it with my friend.
Yeah.
And we only sold it to Showtime. Thank you, Showtime. But it was, a little early, I think. And it's so relevant, dude, now. I mean, just people, it's like, dude, I was thinking about this yesterday. Do not concentrate. I did this. I caught myself. I was concentrating on something I didn't have. And then I was like, but look at all the good shit I do have.
Yeah.
And if you do that, I know that sounds corny and crunchy and very hippie.
But it's true. It keeps you in a more positive state of mind. It keeps you going.
I feel so fucking good
Yeah.
when I do that. And it's like, if you do that, you'll never heckle and you'll never critique because it's not my job.
Right.
I'm not the fucking critiquer of Ari Manis. Okay?
Right.
Ari is his own boss.
Yeah.
I just got to worry about Jamie fucking Kennedy.
100%.
And criticism is almost, some people make their fucking living off criticism. I don't think they're happy, but it's
They can't be.
it's not my job to sit there and look and see what other people are doing. It's my job just to do me.
Yeah, 100%. It's the people. I mean, when you start getting negative towards other people, even, it just brings your whole personality down. Like,
Totally.
You ever been on a car ride with a bunch of comedians and all you do is talk shit about other comedians for 2 hours? It's fun.
I try to avoid that.
And then you get to the place and you've just talked shit for 2 hours and you almost feel drained because of it.
Wait, I want to go back. Am I known as like a hooker? I'll do any show. Hey, get Jamie.
Not a hooker. It's a good I honestly mean it's a good thing. Is people will be like, wow, Jamie's like doesn't give a fuck. He'll do it.
Isn't that cool?
In a cool way, yeah. It's like, for example, my apartment show. I don't want to say names, but I will. There's only 2 people that have ever said, I don't want to do that show. And one of them did it. It was Fahim. And he was just nervous. He didn't know it was going to be a good show. A lot of people, when I tell them about it, they go, I don't want to do a show for 4 people. But they don't realize that I have a stage and lights and a sound and an audience. And then the other one was Pauly Shore. And I think with
You just said you weren't going to say names.
Yeah, but then I lied.
Okay.
I said names. With Pauly, because I'm friends with Pauly, I used to open for him on the road. I don't know. In my head, the only reason he would say no is because he thinks that he'll get laughed at for doing it or something like that. Like he's insecure about it.
Well, let me tell you this. The night I did it, you had all killers. Fahim was one of them.
Yeah.
It was Josh Wolf, Fahim, Cheeto, Laura Beats.
Yeah, it was great.
Myself.
Yeah, it was an amazing show.
Brian Simpson.
Yeah.
That's insane lineup.
Yeah.
That is fucking insane lineup.
Yeah, it was stacked.
I
and
had
everyone
to close
killed it.
that thing.
Yeah.
And
you killed it, and it was dope.
Yeah, I have to tell you, again, this goes back to our earlier conversation is, dude, I have to lose all my fucking ego.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I understand where people are if they don't want to do something because I get like that. I've been like that. I'm now at the point where I have to do something if it's uncomfortable. Not if I don't want to, if I don't need to, but if it's creatively uncomfortable.
Right.
Because it's if I feel like it will make me better.
Yeah.
And I have to do it. And I do believe that if you kind of put yourself out there in these firing lines, and sometimes you do take a shit, people will like you for it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Have you found, you've been doing comedy how long?
Dude, honestly, 28 years.
20 years. That's awesome. It's inspiring. So in 20
And I
years,
took a little break when I was really busy in movies, and then I got busy.
Right.
Hardcore for 21 years, 4 up top, like a 3.5 year gap in between.
Right. So 20 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Have you found, because I mean, we were talking about this the other day, how you did my brother's show after and didn't have the best set on that show.
I ate a little,
and it just goes to show
I
you
ate a
could be doing
medium-sized
it.
dick.
You could be doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
You could be well known, still have bad sets.
Totally.
Have you found that this audience, because this is something that people probably have always said throughout years, but is this audience the most sensitive it's ever been? Have you found that it's harder and harder to do stand-up? Is it changed a lot, or is it the same? Is a joke still a joke, or is it more sensitive now and people are getting mad and not wanting to laugh as much?
Oh no, it's definitely changed. You
Yeah.
know, it's definitely changed. It's definitely. This is a long answer. I'm going to try to give you a cultivated answer here. By the way, Phil's, you should sponsor him, and you know we're boys, Phil. You don't even know this.
Yeah, and
But
it's in the neighborhood.
My boy, I don't want to say this too much. My boy, my friend who I'm friendly with is the junior. He's the CEO of this company.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I want to let you know.
Who has more money, you or him?
I think right now, probably him. Maybe not. Maybe he didn't cash out yet. But
You strike me as a guy who would save well.
I say pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I can awareness myself.
Yeah.
That's funny. So here's what it is. I did a show last night. I'm not going to tell you where.
Okay.
And I was like, and I followed a comic, and she did some some woke material.
Okay.
And she was really funny.
Okay.
And
At least
then
it was funny.
And I went up, and I was like, kind of not woke, and making fun of the woke, and I got a lot of laughs too. And then when I left, I kind of just I looked over at her, kind of like, and she just didn't look.
Oh no.
I was like, so, and then I asked.
She couldn't appreciate the other side.
I asked the dude, I'm like, dude, was she mad? He's like, fuck no, dude, everyone was dying, bro. You fucking murdered her. I'm like, okay. And it's not, I just want to see like where the comic and the woke is. But
Right.
here's the thing. If they were to sit me down, the woke side, they are correct in we have, I'll take responsibility for me, relied on some lazy tropes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. But then I make fun of the fact of what they say of certain things. It's like when I got in trouble, I did a character, I did a, stereotypical gay voice, and I was like this, and I did this whole character. And some lady came up to me after the show, and she's like, not all gay men talk like that. And I looked at her, and I said, you're right, but a lot do. Right? I'm going to go with the numbers. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm not making fun. I'm just recording what happens. This is a character.
Right.
But she's right. I got to get better and more inventive in my material. But then the good thing is I'm commenting on the comments.
Mm-hmm.
But in a nutshell, older people are a little outdated on some of their thoughts, and I being one of them. So I'm looking at what I'm outdated on. Younger people are more in tune, but a little softy about it.
Yeah, a little sensitive.
Well, we're all
easily.
sensitive.
Yeah.
I hate that people could take that term. It's not sensitive. It's just, here's the term I want to start out.
Okay.
Humorless. They don't have jokes, dude. People aren't able to laugh at themselves. And it's like, I'm sorry, who made you God? Like, people make jokes about me all the fucking time. People make jokes about you.
Yeah.
People make jokes about your lineage, your hair, whatever. People make jokes about my career, my fucking bald spot, whatever. So it's like, if we can't joke about you, are you the Dalai Lama? Like, who are you? So, yes, I agree with what they're saying. Like, work harder. Okay,
Right.
I will. But also, let it go, let it down a
Yeah,
little
let
bit.
it be a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously have not had the same sorts of criticism as you because not as many people have seen my work.
Mm-hmm.
But the few things that people have seen, like when the Laugh Factory posts a video of me, or Theo will put me on a podcast of his or something like that, every single time I've gotten negative comments.
Yeah.
And positive ones, but the negative ones are the ones that stick out and the ones that I think about and ruin my day.
Well, that's what Heckler says.
Yeah. So that's where I think about your movie and stuff like that. But originally I used to think, man, like it really bums me out and maybe I should change my material and try to be less offensive and appease those people. But now when I find that someone is actually mad at the things I say, and this is probably the wrong take to have on it too, but I think, oh, they're stupid. They don't know that I'm joking. They're too stupid to get the joke. If everyone's laughing and one person goes, hey, you really offended me, I go, well, that's on you because everyone else laughed.
Bro, I just did a whole joke. I did a whole show at the Improv a couple weeks ago, and a guy came, and he was brave, and I wanted to take a picture with him. He didn't. He was a 20-year-old kid, like, you know, a little soft, you know, like a striped sweater, cuffed his pants, you know, wearing a pair of Sperry's. Nice kid. And he spoke up to me after the club in front of like 9 comedians and addressed why he was offended by some of the jokes.
This was recently?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. And I listened to them all, and his girlfriend was really pretty, and she was really offended, and she laughed. So he was a man. I don't know if he's out there watching. He was a motherfucking man to stand up to me. He didn't threaten me, but he was just telling me why he thought I was stupid in front of 9 comedians. And with them going, hey, this is what it is. And he stayed his ground. So I respect him. And I listened. And other comedians like, why are you listening? You're you. And I'm like, because, man, that's the problem with the world.
But at the end of the conversation, so did you engage or did you just hear what he had to say and go, okay, thank you? Like, what was it? Did you have a debate?
I heard what he had to say.
Uh-huh.
And I then tried to address it. And then he didn't understand it.
Got it. So he didn't want to hear your side of it.
He did. He couldn't grasp it.
Yeah.
He couldn't grasp it if you mention this in a joke, that you're doing a joke about something that's very uncomfortable. And I'm like, dude, that's why we address it, to make it uncomfortable, to address the uncomfortability, to kind of let the air out of the tire. So maybe this is something we could talk about.
Right.
You know,
That's
but he, you know, there's something called the white knight. You know what that is? The guy who was like, yeah, that guy's an asshole. I'll walk you home. You know, that guy, like the fake, you know, feminist.
Yeah.
But it's not really.
Sometimes a closet homosexual.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Cut clean up. You know those videos. They clean it all up at the end. Or he was like, but he stuck his ground. He didn't have his girlfriend.
He defended his girl.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, he told
you what he wanted. And if he wants to shit
say.
on me online, he's allowed to, because he gave it he was very...
That's true. One thing I always say about internet haters, it's like, would you say that to me in real life?
He did.
And he did.
He waited after, came up to me and said, hey, I want to talk to you. I was impressed by that.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
It is more impressive when someone comes up and talks to you and doesn't just leave a nasty comment online or heckle during the show. You know, if they yell out during the show, it's like, if they wait till after to tell you,
think about our life,
I will give them a benefit.
This kid told me he was working in banking. I don't know, he was like 20 or 21, looked like a nice kid, probably smart. His life is completely different than mine. I mean, he is in a system of schooling. I have no idea, but I mean, he was going to school. He's working at a bank. He's blah, blah, blah. That is not my life at all.
No.
My life is like, what am I feeling? What do I want to talk about? Let me go on stage and go crazy. Let me fucking... you know, be with who I want. Let me fucking explore the world. You know what I mean? It's like I am.
Yeah, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, we're
free.
Artistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you made any movies since Heckler, like independent style movies?
I made a couple. I produced 2, but it wasn't like that type of thing. I haven't done any docuseries.
To me, we don't know each other that well, but you've done it all.
Thank you.
You had the Jamie Kennedy Experiment, which I watched growing up, loved it. Malibu, Most Wanted, tons of great movies. Now, as an adult, as a 40-something-year-old man, would you, since you've accomplished these like amazing things that people dream of, if someone offers you like an independent movie or something that isn't as good as what you've done, are you kind of waiting for something to match something that you've done, or would you still take on? Do you have that same mentality of your stand-up where you'll go do a little show? Would you do that for like movies and TV shows too?
That's a long answer. I'll try to give it to you simply. Man, dude, I started my career and I'll never forget this. I auditioned for SNL and I didn't get it. I went to New York and did all that stuff. And it was like...
You did the full test.
Yeah. And it was 94.
You met, what's his name?
I met Lauren Michael, and I met Chris Farley.
That's sick.
And I performed in a club and did stand up, and I didn't get it. And I was like, fucking. I think it was either the year before or the year after Sarah Silverman got on. I think she got on maybe that year. Janine Garofalo it was already on.
Okay.
This was early, dude.
Yeah.
I think I was either I was just turned 24 or 23, and I'm like, that's pretty young. But my goal was like around that time because Eddie Murphy was like my hero.
Right. So you really wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this. I went back, and I went to the store, and I was getting like a please allow. Right.
At the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In '94.
Mm-hmm.
And I started dating a girl who was also getting please allows. And she went up and she was showcasing. And then I went up and I did okay. I didn't do great. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'll never forget this. I sat in front of the store. This is 25 years ago in that little bar, which has not changed. And I'm like, I have no idea. Like, that was my goal. And then I started getting like little TV spots. I started getting audition. At least they heard that audition, so I was being brought in. So I got, audition, and I got like a little guest spot, and I got another little guest spot. And then I started getting movies. It's a long process, but the simple is the movies were more serious. And so I had good movie after good movie after good movie after good movie. And then around 2000, so like 4.5 years of just movie. Things started getting a little more tense. Like I wasn't working as much, but I was working on a movie every 9 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I going to do? And in the movies, people thought I was funny, or they would say this other person was funny. And I was like, this isn't, I was coming up in the store. I was coming up in improv. I was coming up in the factory, and I would see people murder it. I'm like, there's a difference between being funny in a movie and being funny.
Yeah.
So then I always had that idea, and that's how the Jamie Kennedy experiment came to be, to show the town what I believe funny is, and I'm going undercover and all this stuff. Then it became my own entity, my own comedy star when I did Malibu's. I got the sequel to The Mask and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is a long answer, but the long story is that I was holed out for stuff for a while.
Yeah.
And then you catch yourself sitting around. And you're like, it's like, I don't need to work. I guess I could use the practice, but it's like, what do I want to do?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But
your goals change.
Yeah, you get a little crazy. So I have taken things sometimes that weren't exactly great because I wanted to work. But it's like no one's offering me anything. And sometimes they're not even letting me go in for things. Right. Because I have more baggage in an unknown because I'm me. So people already have preconceived notions. So the answer is yes. I want to do good stuff. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the last 6 years, there's some good stuff mixed with some dreck. And
sometimes you don't know before you do it.
No.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, I've done like a fart comedy, and I've also done movies with Guy Pearce and Pierce Bronson.
What about, I want to hear the story of how you got your cameo in Harold and Kumar Goes to White Castle. I thought you were really funny in that.
Thank you. But answer your question, yeah, if somebody has a good independent, a gritty,
and you read the script and you love it, you'll do it.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's how McConaughey, I believe, made Mud. Or no, Dallas Buyers Club. Right. Some dude put it in his mailbox, he read it, he got it made. If anyone has that, bring it to me. I'm looking for that $1 million.
Tight.
But it's something, it's got to have drama to it.
Sure.
Because I'm naturally.
It's got to be real.
Yeah, I'm more dramatic than I am funny, even though if you think I'm funny, thank you. But it's like, I'm a little bit, something with like a little psycho edge.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I play where I got those chances? Lifetime. I've done a couple Lifetime movies where they let you play something a little psycho. Harold and Kumar it was one of those great moments where it was just an offer.
That's what I was thinking when I was watching. I was like, he didn't have to audition for that.
No, they said, here, come in, do this, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Anthony Anderson, do whatever you want. Ryan Reynolds. There was 5 of us that are like cameos, and they were so awesome. We shot it in a night, and Cal was my buddy, and John Cho I knew, and they were like, let's go at it. And it was just, it's fun.
Just goofing on set. Doing a funny character.
Improving, and it was late at night, and we're up by the Griffith Observatory, and I'm getting paid a lot, and I'm making them, and people to this day quote that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, of all the things you've done, what do you get? What do you have a number one where it's like, oh, Jamie Kennings, what's your number one where people are like, Jamie from this?
It's a toss.
It's,
I mean,
it's,
I
or, is
gotta
it a
be
mix,
honest.
or is it a mix between? There is no
even though
number one.
Scream is like probably the most mark I've left on pop culture, I believe.
Yeah. That's older, though.
But it's not really. It's more relevant than ever in a way. That I Shouldn't Have Died in Scream and Malibu. Malibu wasn't as big as a hit, but it's just growing.
It's a cult hit.
Yeah, it's just growing. And Harold and Kumar, that scene. Heckler now.
That's cool.
It's a mix of things, but
It's cool that the internet's resurging all these older pieces of art, too.
dude, and people are gonna like what they want to like
Mhm.
when they want it. That's what's
True.
beautiful. That's why I think people that had stalled careers will have the career they deserve if the audience finds them.
Yeah.
And
100%.
because sometimes a career, some of the people, you're like, why is that person popular? Because the mass media jammed them down our throat. We didn't ask for it. But then people come up slowly, and then you see, oh my God, this person's amazing.
What is something in your life that I could help you with?
That's so funny.
Because, even though I'm younger than you
Yeah.
and have less experiences
Oh,
than
yeah.
you in the world,
But I'm going to come to you for advice.
I could fix you.
That's your MO?
I could.
All right.
If you're open to it.
I'm open
If you're
to
willing
it.
to open your heart and your mind,
Yes.
I'll save you.
Okay. If you really want to know,
Mhm.
sometimes I obsess about things.
Just obsessive compulsive.
No, not compulsive. I just obsess.
What's something you've obsessed over?
I hate it in our business because early on I learned that you say something to somebody who didn't mean it like that, and they take it away, and then it's like next thing you know, somebody might be mad at you, and you're like, I didn't know it was like that.
Oh yeah, I've gotten people mad at me, and I'm like, I'm a nice guy. Why are you mad at me?
So yeah,
They take
I
things
think
wrong.
honestly, sometimes I obsess about shit, and it lives rent free in my mind.
And indefinitely
No,
until you confront it.
time will let it go.
Yeah.
Or I'll get a new experience, and I'll be like, boom, boom, and it'll wash away. But in the moment.
So how do you're wondering how you can be better about not obsessing over little things that
Not giving a fuck.
Not
How about
giving a
that?
fuck.
Can you teach me to not give a fuck?
not giving a fuck. I mean, just telling yourself you don't give a fuck, have that as a mantra in your head. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
I think that works.
All
If
right.
you say something in your head throughout the day, just remind yourself, oh
Like-
yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Like I'm a good person.
I'm a good person.
I deserve
don't
it.
give I don't give a fuck.
I don't say any of that.
Yeah, you are a good person. I know that. I don't know you that well, but you'll laugh at a guy bombing. You'll come to a guy's garage and do their podcast. You are a good person.
This is
for
a
sure.
garage?
It's a one-car garage.
I thought this was a studio.
My apartment show and my garage studio. I'm a makeshift guy.
Dude, your apartment show was bomb.
I try.
It was in a good way bomb.
You got to put 100% into everything.
Yeah.
I don't half-ass things.
No.
Someone's like, "Oh, I got a podcast. I record on my phone." That's not a podcast.
Like this isn't half a set.
Yeah, this is
Full set.
full set. So yeah, I would say that. Keep a mantra in your head that you don't give a fuck. It's
That
simple.
was really great therapy.
Yeah.
I think it's
I know
gonna work.
that was probably easy advice, but
Yeah.
I think it was good.
I mean, that wasn't really.
Wow.
You have to take.
Okay, what advice would you give yourself on not giving a fuck? Give yourself better advice if mine wasn't good.
You have to know your worth.
Okay.
Know your worth.
But that's different than not giving a fuck, right?
No, because sometimes you give a fuck because you're like, you worried about that person more than you worry about yourself.
Right. You're like, who cares about that person?
I don't know if we're doing a bit right now, but I'm being serious.
Me too.
Jesus. But he's good. Yeah, I don't know if he's being real or not. He's a good actor.
I'm a thespian.
Yes. All right.
Did you ever take an acting class or did you just...
Yeah, I took some, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
In fact, it made me great and it fucked me up at the same time, but it made me great. But Chelsea took it too. Chelsea Skidmore, she went to the same program.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we talk about it. But it's great because it tunes you in very much so. It's like, so it did help me a lot. It did help me up a lot. But then there's certain things that it would give you actual tools how to break down a scene. And sometimes for a little while, I'd be thinking about how to do a scene as opposed to just naturally doing it.
Were you ever Me Too'd in Hollywood? Did someone
Jesus
ever?
Christ,
Did
no.
someone ever like fondle you, make you uncomfortable?
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Did anyone ever touch you?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you willing to talk about it?
What do you want to know? That shit happens to me all the time.
Someone like said, hey,
What is your definition?
made you
Was I Me
pressured?
Too'd? No, I was never taken advantage of.
Were you ever pressured into doing something you didn't want to do physically with a man or a woman?
I was never pressured. I never would never give in. I would say that I have been pushed. I mean, there's definitely people that have insinuated shit. Yeah, of course.
One time to make you more comfortable. One time I made out with a casting director
No.
for a $200 storytelling TV show.
And?
Got it. I got the part.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'll be honest, I would have made out with her.
Anyway.
Either way, she was pretty cute.
So you got the job.
Got the job and made out with her.
And you handled your business?
And I did a good job. The show got canceled, so I didn't do good enough.
But you only made out?
At first. To get the part, I made out, and then later we might have done more stuff.
Okay.
So I've been through it. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
You could be open and honest. Now that I have been.
I have been. Yeah, that was intense. No, but I think that people I have been poked and prodded. It doesn't bother me. But again, I'm a man and I feel comfortable in the sense that I could tell people no. So
yeah.
I'm not a woman.
You'll say no if you need to.
Yeah, I'm not.
Even as like a young 20, 21-year-old.
Well, I never got it that bad.
Okay.
I never got it that bad. I got recently I did a movie. This is not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a big deal. This is a true story. Cause I'm being real. Were you being real?
I'm
you were
being real.
a joke.
No, her name was Megan.
Stop, dude. Don't. Jesus.
She lives in Nashville now. She quit the business.
You fucking put her on blast.
She won't return my text.
Okay. I did a movie recently and I had to be dressed in really tight clothes because it was a period piece. And one of the extras goes, "Damn, those pants make your ass real juicy." And her friend goes, "And what about that basket?" And I go, "You guys like it?" They go, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah." That's common. That's very common.
It is funny because, like, to me, that's funny, and I would laugh if someone said that to me.
Yeah.
But if it was flipped,
oh fuck, dude.
if you said that to the lead, if you were an extra and you said that to the female lead of a movie, that extra is fired.
Fired? They're doing time. They're doing fucking time.
If you said to a female, if you said it to Jennifer Aniston, if you're an extra and Jennifer Aniston was on Friends and she was wearing tight pants, you go, "Your ass looks juicy tonight on set."
Yeah.
You're done.
Bro, that happened to me. But then the creativity of and that basket. It was funny.
Were these white girls?
Older, middle-aged white ladies.
Nice.
So, they had like Jamie on the brain and I was high with it. I mean, it was like complimentary. So I was
That's
like,
the
thank
thing.
you.
Yeah, when a girl hits on me, even if I have no remote attraction to that girl whatsoever, I'm never offended.
Because it's like, thank you.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
feel
I'm not
pretty.
interested, but thank you so much for
And
for
again,
acknowledging
we're saying
my
it.
beauty.
That's how we react to it. I had a woman come up to me recently at a club up north. I do this in a joke, but she was like an old Slim Jim. She was like 78 to 83 years old. I don't know. One of those people that never put on SPF.
Yeah.
Looked like, a piece of
I think
Slim
that's
Jim.
going to be me.
You got to put it on.
Yeah.
And
Too late.
she was old and like smoked Virginia Slims and stuff. Was doing a meet and greet, and she fucking had these nails, beautiful red nails with French tips for like an old bag with
Yeah.
beautiful nails.
Yeah.
It was bizarre, and I was like, she was like, "What do you got? You got a shirt and all that stuff." And then I go, "I think your nails. Wow, look at those nails." And she goes, "Oh yeah, this is true." She goes, "They look great wrapped around your cock." And I was like, "Lady," I was like.
And are there other people around?
Yeah. And I was like this. I was looking at her. I was like, but for a second, I was like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? It was like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
She's like 79. Anyway, That happens to me a lot. People say shit to me all the
So
time.
did she come up to your room or no?
No, let me go. She had to go back to the
That's
home.
nice. Yeah.
But literally, that's a true story.
Yeah.
And I could tell you lots of stories like that, but it doesn't bother me. Again, I'm a man. I feel confident in myself and my strength. That's what I'm not saying. I feel like I can say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If a girl slides into my DMs,
yes,
I'm polite every time. Hey, thank you. That's so sweet of you to say that I'm cute, but I'm seeing someone or I'm not interested. Let's just be friends.
You're so sweet in your DMs.
That's what I'll say. Occasionally after a show, I'll get slid a DM from someone I'm not interested in. And I'll respond. She'll say, hey, I thought you were really cute if you want to hang out. And I'll say, that's so sweet of you. I'm not interested, or let's just be friends, something like that. So I never understand when a girl gets mad at a guy for hitting on them.
Yes.
For some harmless, hey, you're cute.
Yes. And if 2 or 3 girls say, please meet me behind the Comedy Store, you're just like,
it depends on the 2 or 3 girls.
No.
I mean, if they're in numbers, it increases the chances of me wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Like, if I would say no to you, but then it was you and your friend combined, I'll probably say yes.
Wow. So
because
you like the added help.
Well, it's just like makes a good story.
Yeah. That's why I'm sure that's why you're doing it, for the story.
I've had one threesome in my life.
Your whole life.
Yeah. It was my ex-girlfriend and her friend, and it was...
You're really spilling the tea.
It was an incredible experience.
Okay, so what happened after the
So
threesome?
they had a threesome once before.
Yeah.
So I knew that about them.
Yeah.
And they were hanging out one night. We were all drinking. So the energy was in the air, knowing that they had done it once before.
They had a threesome without you.
With a different male. Early before I was going out with this girl.
Nice. So you're there to clean it up.
So I was like, if they could do it with them, they could do it with me, and that's what happened.
Well,
and it was incredible.
So
for me, it was incredible
2
for
girls.
me, not for 2 girls.
All right.
And I had a great time. I don't know if either of them did,
Okay.
but I had a wonderful.
Well, did you check in with them after? Or?
Yeah, they were not. They said, "Oh yeah, that was fun," but
fun.
I don't think either of them orgasmed.
So it was like fun.
It was, and you
California Adventure.
You could say, "Oh, Ari couldn't make them orgasm."
Yeah,
we were also drinking. That inhibits a
she
female
had a little
orgasm.
bit of whiskey disky.
Yeah, that hurts chances. And also, we're just getting comfortable with each other. It's the first time.
Yeah.
Maybe you need 2 or 3. That's normal. So it's like a lot of people listen to that story and judge me like I'm not that good at sex. But
you could have lied and said one of them did.
Yeah, but they didn't. Neither of them did.
At all.
No.
Did they walk out? Did they spend the night, or they left right after?
They both spent the night. Girlfriend at the time spent the night in my bed, and her friend spent the night on the couch.
Well, that's weird.
You think we all should have shared the bed?
Yeah, you just
cuddle?
had a threesome. Why are you putting her out there like redheaded stepchild?
Think if it was we were all strangers, we would all cuddle.
Yeah.
But when one of them's your girlfriend, you have to let her know at the end, like, you're still my girl, you know? But so that's why the one goes on the couch, to let her know, hey, that was just a physical thing. You're still my girl.
Did the other one, was she friends with that girl?
Yeah.
And did they do stuff?
Yeah.
Jesus, you're really putting her business out there.
I didn't say any names.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
You probably only had like 2 girlfriends your whole life.
5. I've had 5 girlfriends.
So it's a 20% chance. So hold on. They did stuff. And then she was like, you got to go to the couch. And they weren't weird. Let me ask you this. And be real and don't do a character right now.
I swear to God, I'll be real.
Do not be a character.
Okay, I don't even know what a character is.
Did you sneak in the DMs of the friend after?
No, I did not. Promise.
That's honorable. That's good for threesome etiquette, by the way. This is why more threesomes should happen. If people can obey that code.
But let me tell you some more.
That was honorable.
Let me tell you some more details.
A lot of women are scared of that, and a lot of guys are scared of that. If it happens, vice versa.
Let me tell you some more details. Number 1, I'm not a cheater, and to me, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Think about what generosity that girlfriend had to let you have a threesome.
Incredible.
So for you to go abuse that afterwards, it's like, be happy with what you got.
Yeah.
You got this amazing experience. Don't go around her back after that.
Yeah.
But then there's more reasons, I'll say. The friend wasn't as cute as the girlfriend.
I got it.
So it's like I'd be DMing for a downgrade.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
I also later found out, I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
Maybe I'll cut this out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I later found out that her friend had herpes.
Stop it.
Didn't know in the experience.
Stop it.
So I'm having a threesome with 2 girls.
Stop it.
Later found out that one of the girls in the threesome had herpes.
No one told you?
She didn't know at
That's
that moment. So she found out weeks later.
That she had herpes?
That she had herpes. She hits us up and she says, hey, you guys should go get tested. I just found out I have herpes. So now we're freaking out. Like, what the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. We run, get tested. We're good. But still.
Okay, so now you definitely, people know who you're talking about.
And now I'm not hitting up the herpes girl.
Of course you're not going to hit up Herp.
Yeah. Not that there's any, if you have herpes out there, nothing wrong with that. A lot of people have it, but I don't want it.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No one really wants it.
Yeah, no one wants it.
She didn't tell you?
She didn't know. She didn't know till after.
So let's be real. The reason you didn't slide in her DMs, you didn't want an itch.
I didn't want an itch.
So if she didn't have herpes?
I still don't think I would have, but that made it a lot easier. I'll say that. That made it a lot easier not to slip in those DMs.
Well, she hit the girl up with a sore. Stay with
I don't, like, I'm a horny guy, but
Yeah.
I don't go after girls with herpes.
Yeah, again, you just alienated about 49% of your audience.
Do you think 49% of my audience has herpes?
I think so.
Comment below if you have herpes.
A lot of people aren't going to want to do that.
Do it. Be brave. I've been brave.
Yeah.
Here's a story that happened to me last week.
Anyway, to go back to the Me Too, we're not minimizing it.
Not at all. So last week, I was making out with a girl. I don't know why I was doing that with my hands. I was making out with a girl.
You were counting down how many times you hooked up last week, and it would just be maybe
I wish.
one.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
Yeah, definitely just one last week. So she came over
To here?
to
Upstairs?
here in my apartment. Yeah.
Okay.
We're making out with our mouths,
The Zen
kissing
man.
each other with tongue and whatnot.
Got it.
And she kept saying, I can't do this. I can't do it. Meaning
farted.
sex. Uh-oh.
You heard that.
As long as I don't smell it, we'll see.
Okay, go ahead.
So she kept saying, I can't do this.
I
And
can't do what?
She was implying she can't have sex.
Okay, so good.
it was getting hot and heavy.
All right.
And she kept saying it though when I wasn't like trying to have sex. I wasn't trying to take her pants off. We were fully clothed, just making out. And she kept saying, I can't. And I said, hey, I don't want to do anything you don't want to do, but why do you keep saying I can't? I'm not pursuing. We don't have to have sex. Why do you keep saying I can't?
What are you making out with her?
We were just making out.
Well, that's, a little bit. People think you're going to want to go further.
But I would get it if I was like, I kept going for it or something, but I wasn't doing that.
Right.
So I was like,
This could go very dicey territory right now.
I think it will be. So I said, so I stopped making out and I go, why do you keep saying I can't? Like, what's going on? Like, it's okay, but why do you keep saying that? And she said, I just found out that I have an STI and I have herpes. So this is the second herpes experience in my life. And so I said,
By the way, go ahead.
I said, thank you for telling me that, first off.
Yeah.
And I said, thank you for being honest with me. There's nothing wrong with that. I think in some ways that's good. I said, you're going to find a guy that really has to care for you now and isn't just going to want to have sex with you. So in some ways that could be a good thing. And she said, yeah, I didn't think about it that way. And then she left and I have never talked to her again.
Wow. This is going to really endear you to your female audience members. This is...
I might cut all this out.
This is fucking...
This might all get cut out.
That whole story, get rid of.
Get rid of that
Wait a
shit.
minute. What? Are you really that... Well, how old are you?
30. I just turned 30.
Do you really say STI?
She said STI. She goes, it's not... She was very self-conscious
First
about it.
of
She
all,
goes,
the
it's not
girl-
an STD,
is that
it's
true?
an STI. Herpes is...
Wait, is
I
that
don't-
true, that story?
Yes.
A, that's amazing on her part. God bless her.
For telling, or what was the amazing part? Like being so
She's
honest?
so honest about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's right. She could have just passed on the herpes to me.
B, you what is an STI? I've heard this.
So
Sexually
there's-
transmitted infection?
I believe so, yeah. Infection as opposed to disease. So they're essentially interchangeable, and they're both things that no one wants. But of course, someone with an STI gets defensive and goes, not an STD, it's an STI. But it's
a disease.
It's a thing you don't want.
It's a disgusting.
It's a lifelong thing in your body
disgusting.
that you don't want.
See, they want to make it more like digestible, but if we make
She
it
was it was her being self-conscious.
No,
about
but she's
her herpes.
cool.
Yeah.
But STD is like, yo, listen, the numbers are there according to the press. Like chlamydia is like an all-time high.
At least that one can go away.
Chlamydia is hotter than it's
Chlamydia
ever
is the
been.
one you want.
I don't know. There was like another one, gonorrhea. Like
Same one. Those two-
millennials,
yeah, those
I
two
think
are the ones you
are
want.
fucking not more than other people, but I think they're.
I
it's
think God
funny.
is trying to put a stop to it.
No, because millennials are hooking up.
Right.
Do you guys use bags?
I try not to.
Are you crazy? Do you
I
guys
mean,
not know what a bag is?
You know what's funny? It's like when I was 17, I
Wow.
lost my virginity, and
That's a lot of
and I
information.
used bags, right?
Yeah.
Condoms.
Yeah.
And they didn't bother me at all. I was like, who cares? Like, yeah, be safe. It still feels amazing. Wear a condom, no big deal.
Yeah.
Now that I'm 30, though,
Yeah.
if someone it's like, we got to use a condom, I'm like, do we have to? Like,
Dude, do you want a baby?
no, I don't want a baby.
Do you want an STI?
No.
I mean, what are you thinking?
Here's what you do. You have a conversation. You go, hey, do you want a baby? And she goes, no. And you go, do you have any STIs? And she goes, no. And then you go, all right, no bags. No, why use a bag?
It's so amazing. I was growing up in the 80s, and that was just bag. You put a bag on when you put a bag
and
over
back
your
then
hat.
they weren't even as good. The bags were thicker and not as comfortable.
No,
Now they
it's
have these
bag
ultra
on
thin
bag.
ones.
This
Yeah.
new generation is bagless. It's
Yeah,
like
bagless.
if you don't wear a bag, you got to know everything about this person. A full screening, a full background check, a mental health
It's called
check.
it's called being a giving, trusting person.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's
Oh.
just being open-minded to this young lady and her history and believing what she
And
has to
she's
say.
ready, and she's okay without going with a bag.
Most of them are. Not all of them.
I did. I have seen and
So you
Heard
always
this.
use bags.
I'm not going to tell you what I do, but I'm
enough.
very responsible. I know my part in the lovemaking process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep my side of the street clean.
Smart.
I mean, come on, man.
I guess that's why, you're you and I'm me. Because I live my whole life bagless.
You're bagless.
I'm a bagless type of guy.
I mean, I like it. There's nothing wrong with not having a bag, but you got to know who the other.
That's why, you sit them down, you look them in the eyes.
What's the word for the bag? You got to know who the other bag holder is. I was going to say trash can, but you can't say that.
Have you ever
gotta
used a female condom?
I'm not female. I don't identify. as that.
No, but have you ever had a girl who put on a female condom?
No.
Neither have I.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Oh, really?
No.
They make female condoms, so it's a bag that goes.
I had a
in
girl
the
take
vagina.
some kind of like lubricant and just go and shoot it up there without me knowing. And then
And then it was like cold.
no, I was like having sex with her and like all this like white goo came out. I'm like, oh my God, did I come? Yeast infection. Ah! Like, what is that? And then she's like, oh no, it's anti-spermicidal. She like didn't tell me, but it was like, it was
It made
like,
a mess.
it was like a frappuccino. But I mean, listen, she covered the surface area. Then I
Yeah.
went bagless with her because I know her.
A girl who does that is a girl you could trust.
But I love the fact that she did it, but I just didn't know what it was. But apparently
Right.
that's so, but I haven't seen it since her. But
Yeah, I've
I
never
think,
seen that.
look, dude, I honestly, in a perfect world, everyone should have all their stuff like this. Bip, there's my history.
Right. Yeah.
And if you get offended, you're not getting it.
if you get offended, you're not safe, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust you.
Bip.
That's why
we should all have a card.
Okay, I have one final question. Honestly, this is the sad truth. No bits.
No, there's a
I'm
bit.
just insane. So here's my final question.
And then I have a question for you.
Okay.
Well,
Hit me with it.
when did you start comedy? 22?
2012 at 22. Yeah, right after college.
Where did you go to college?
UC Santa Cruz.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Banana slug, dog.
And you didn't smoke weed up there a lot?
I did, but not. It was never an issue. It was never like, man, I need to cut down on my weed.
Did you what made you want to be a comic?
I always was a class clown. I like making people laugh. I like sleeping in. I didn't want to get a job. It was just enjoyable. I signed up for this comedy contest one time and I did it and I loved it. And I've just been hooked ever since.
No deep pain?
I'm a sad person. I have depression like everyone else, but
All right.
I was not like molested or anything.
Yeah, no. But you
Yeah,
have
no
to-
trauma.
No trauma, but
But I'm a downer guy.
But you're
overall.
healthy.
Yeah, I'm healthy, but I'm not happy. You know what I mean?
but who's happy?
Good question. True.
Oh, what was it the day before I was on the fucking road. And I did these shows. I had a sold out weekend,
Tight. Congrats.
which is good for me. I don't
Yeah.
usually sell out my weekends. So hopefully
It's great.
something's happening.
Can't hurt.
And well, this is gonna just add to it. And I was like flying home. You know how it is. You do your show. You're done with all your meet and greets. Everything. It's 1
Do you fly
a.m.
first class?
Sometimes. I mean, it doesn't really bother me because if I'm only in the States, first class not great. First class
Right.
overseas always.
Yeah.
Not to sound like a bouge, but to get that bad.
I got my first taste of first class this year, and man, it is nice.
But in the
And
States, it doesn't matter unless you're flying
it's
private.
nice, but it's yeah.
But going to
Yeah.
Europe, yeah. So, but I fly coach a lot.
Do you have one airline you stick with, or do you go with average?
You
cheapest?
can't because what happens? You go
Or
to
do you
Buffalo.
try? Do you try to stick with one airline?
I try to stick with American a lot,
Okay.
but it's hard
Build
because
up those
certain
points.
places don't go
Yeah.
to Poughkeepsie, and so it's like you gotta.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're done at 2, and then you gotta get a 6 a.m. flight, and you have like an hour at your hotel, and you don't get any sleep, and you're just out of it. So I'm like on the plane, and I was like sad. I was like sad. I'm crammed in, and then I got the layover in Atlanta, and I'm like huffing it, and I'm like, and then I come home. Sunday I felt a little funky, and then Monday I got sleep, and yesterday I felt incredible,
That's great.
and I drank pumpkin, and
With the season.
I felt incredible, and I don't know what it is. And I had a checkup yesterday, and I got a good checkup. And I don't know, and I kept drinking pumpkin. This all goes back to the sadness.
From Starbucks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pumpkin nitro cold brew. And I have my brother, because he's kind of nuts like you, but he's like a super researcher.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, go, dude, research pumpkin. Because I swear my spirits are lifted. And I haven't been depressed in 2 days. Not that I'm depressed all the time.
Right, but you've had a great 2 days.
Incredible. I did 2 shows last night. I felt great. And so I guess, like, I don't know what makes people happy because nothing really makes me happy except we go on stage.
Except pumpkin.
Dude, going on stage killing, it's a
Yeah.
nice moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it goes away. Taking a hit off a joint, it's a nice moment.
Right.
Boom. Having sex with a girl in a Google Doc, it's a nice moment.
Right.
But
it's
the
fleeting.
pumpkin, I'm not kidding you, keeps me fucking like this.
Well,
I don't know if it's pumpkin.
It could be. But here's what I'll say to that. And that's awesome. I'm
If
glad
you're
you
a
found
researcher
pumpkin.
and you're watching Aring Manis, write this in if it's true.
I'm going to try pumpkin because I actually don't eat pumpkin flavor stuff because I've never really liked
Dude.
it. But I'm going to because of this. I swear to God.
Dude.
I'm going to go out and get a pumpkin latte.
Dude.
I promise you I am. But I will say this. Remember, you probably don't remember, but remember when you first started stand-up comedy 20, almost 30 years ago?
Yeah. That's me.
And you would have a great set?
Yeah. When? I didn't really have a good set for a while.
Okay, well, I remember having a good set when I first started.
Stop it.
And I would be high from that for literally a week. Like that whole week.
Yeah?
I'd be like, I had a great set, like, holy shit, that was so fun, and you'd feel great.
Mm-hmm.
But that, like anything, it becomes less and less, and kind of like the first time you have sex with a girl. You lose your virginity, you're like, oh my God, that was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But it all becomes less and less and less.
Yeah.
So be careful with that pumpkin, dude. Don't abuse it. Take that pumpkin when you're having a bad day. Don't sip on that pumpkin all day, every day, because then those effects from that pumpkin are going to be less and less and less. That's all I'm saying. You found it. Congratulations. You've had a great 2 days. Now go 2 days without the pumpkin and use it again.
That's fucked up.
It's fine. I know. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Dude,
I'm just saying.
I want to go and get another pumpkin because what I'm saying is
It's
that's
like when you listen to a song
you
on
just
repeat.
ruined it.
I didn't ruin it.
You ruined it.
No, I'm making it better so it'll last longer.
No, but maybe what I'm trying to say is on the real tip, that pumpkin.
Oh, what'd your brother find? Did he find anything about it?
He's researching it.
Huh.
Pumpkin might be constant.
It could be. It's true.
I'm
You
not
never know.
bullshitting you. And there's a reason why basic bees are happy. Pumpkin biatches. Pumpkin everything all day in their stories. It could be pumpkin.
Of all this goes back to your career.
This is
in
a real
comedy.
question?
Real question in Hollywood. I asked this to a lot of guests, so it's like a reoccurring segment theme question.
Is your podcast usually an hour and 15 minutes?
Roughly.
How do you know? Do you have a clock?
No, I just feel it. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more.
Impressive.
It's all on feeling.
Go ahead.
When
You're going to have to cut out about 40 minutes of it.
Yeah, there you go. I probably will. I said a lot of fucked up, embarrassing shit that I don't know if I
No,
want
that's
my-
okay.
I
But
don't know if
we
want my
can't talk
mom to
about
hear-
certain shit because I
know
don't
if-
want to be mean to people.
Right. I don't know if I want my mom to hear some of the stuff I said about myself. So
Is your mom?
my mom listens.
Does she think you're a great comedian?
She's supportive.
My mom didn't even know what comedy was. But
I don't know if I don't think she thinks I'm a great comedian. In fact, when I first started, she goes, shouldn't you like kind of be funny to do stand-up comedy?
Well, what does she do?
She's a lawyer. Yeah.
Where? Santa Cruz?
San Diego.
Diego? Is that where you grew up?
I grew up in Diego. Yeah.
Oh, you're a Diego?
Yeah, dog.
That
Torrey
explains
Pines
a
High School,
lot. The
2007.
hardest thing in his life was like down by the lamppost.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, on paper, I didn't struggle.
Diego is like,
It's
dude,
amazing.
you and Gary and my buddy Addis. So the director of Hecklers from Diego,
Right.
Gary. God, what's Gary's last name? He's my one of my best friends. Gary. He's Sharper Productions. He's a
Okay.
comedian. I don't know his last name. He's from Diego. All you guys are like, no
Chillers.
problems. I
Yeah,
don't know.
chiller.
I've never met a depressed person from Diego.
I'm depressed, but I have no reason to be. So,
go ahead.
okay.
Gary
so,
Robinson.
Gary Robinson.
Yeah.
Of all the things you've done and auditioned for and just projects, everything, what has been, I don't want to say failure, but what has been the thing where you're like, I wish I could go back and either not do it, redo it, or I wish I booked that audition? Like, was there ever something you're like, fuck, this would have been it and it wasn't, something? What's the biggest upsetment? Biggest thing you're upset about?
Why you got to go there?
If you had to pick one thing.
I don't really have a super regret, but I do have like a mini question.
Okay.
This will be good actually, T.
Okay.
So at the time, I did Malibu's,
Okay.
and it was like my baby.
Yeah.
And wait, why are you asking this question?
I asked it to everyone. It's just kind of like, as a up and coming, whatever, as a comedian, it's just interesting to hear and learn how the brain works.
So I did Malibu's,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it came out, and the #1 movie of that weekend was Anger Management
Also a good movie.
in its second weekend. The second movie was Holes,
Also a good movie.
and number 3 was Malibu.
Okay.
And Malibu hung in. It dropped
Those other two movies were much bigger budget movies.
big, and big press and stuff.
Adam Sandler,
Yes.
biggest movie comedian of our generation.
Yes.
And then Holes was made by Disney.
Yes.
And
And it
a
was
giant
Shia-
and for kids, and it's PG and
Yeah.
big production.
And then Malibu's was third. And then Malibu's held only dropped like 38%, which if you know that's a pretty good drop. It didn't drop
Yeah.
as much and held on. So it made its budget back and it made some profit. And it was the first time in my career that I was offered movies.
Mm-hmm.
Very first time when I was just turning 33.
Okay.
And I was offered very good money. I mean, I don't know if I can talk about it or not, but I was offered,
Millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a choice between Son of the Mask and there's a choice between Without a Paddle.
Interesting. I didn't know that. This is a story I didn't know. See, that's why I asked.
And so Son of the Mask needed a lot of work. It was a lot of it's obviously the biggest shoes to fill, but it was going to be my own way, my own jokes, my own Jamie Kennedy-isms,
Yeah.
and with a lot of input creatively.
Right.
It was a bigger budget. It was in a foreign country, but it had a huge July 4th release.
Yeah.
So it's
It was a big movie.
Go big or go home.
Right.
July 4th, The Mask has a new face.
Yeah.
Without a Paddle was littler, with a very great director and a great producer, and it had Seth Green, and I believe it already had Dax, and it was I think I was up for the Matthew part, and it was before Matthew Lillard, who's also my buddy. And they were like, it's kind of yours if you want one of
Yeah.
them. One of the 3 guys, but I think it was the Matthew part.
Yeah.
And the offers were the same.
Money-wise, they were the same.
Yeah, they
Got
were
it.
both great money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and my agencies and my managers, say what you want. Not all of them, but more than half of them were definitely pushing me to do it. Now, some were saying, don't do it.
To do
The mask.
Okay.
And this other one wasn't like, I just came off my baby. I just came off Malibu, where every joke was mine.
Yeah.
Where I was the school of Keenan Ivory Wayans, where you do a line 5 times. That's why Keenan is a genius. You try it, everything you try.
Yeah.
And then you edit it, and you see what works the
Right,
best.
in post,
Joke,
yeah.
joke. And I just got to do so much. And I got to give Nick jokes, and Nick gave me jokes.
Yeah.
And Tay and Anthony improvising. I mean, it was like creative
It was amazing.
beautifulness.
Your dream. It was literally a dream come true.
And then I go into a movie where I'm like one of the 3 leads, and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do and how much control I'm going to have. And this one was a huge monster, The Mask.
Yeah.
But I was told I was going to have a lot of control.
Right.
Obviously, I went with The Mask. 10 podcasts deep, we can talk about that.
Right.
But I didn't have nearly the control I was told.
Right.
And Without a Paddle came out, and it opened to the same amount as Malibu's. And it ended up making more. Now, people have done very well out of that movie.
Sure.
I don't know if anyone became solo comedy movie stars, but they
Right.
all are very
Right, but
great
no, that
and
movie-
respected
yeah.
actors, and they're great. And I respect and love all those guys in that movie. But had I been from Malibu's to that movie, and if it worked, it might have tanked with me.
Sure. Who knows?
But if it worked, I always wonder if I was in that movie at that number, would I have had the same consistency and go, Jamie Kennedy is a
Right.
consistent opener of medium budget comedies, and would I have gone a little farther, longer? Not saying that I'm not going to or I can't, but
Right.
would I have not had a pothole?
Yeah. So you have that question pops up in your head.
I did for a while. I'm over it now.
Right.
But I thought at least I could have maybe bought myself
No.
some time
Honestly,
until 08 and probably got in the hangover. Right? That's how we work, right?
Right. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's impossible to say who knows, but
It's a good one,
no,
right?
that was a really good one.
But I don't
That's all I
know
wanna
if that movie, Son of the Mask, made an impression on pop culture. Still to this
Yeah.
day, people don't like it. Like, Without a Paddle, I think people like, but I don't know if it's talked about as much.
No,
But it was a hit.
It's funny when you were talking about Without a Paddle, I was going to ask you because I remember the movie coming out, but I was going to ask you. I was like, was that a hit? I can't remember if that was I can't remember how that movie did. But now you answered that question.
That's a pretty good story. I never shared that.
That was a really good story. That was like gold right there. And that's why I asked that question because everyone, whether it's you or me, like I have my biggest bullshit audition that I didn't get, or like the story that I tell people, oh, one time this happened, one time I showcased here and I bombed, like everyone has that story. We're like, you don't regret it. Life moves on, but you think, what if?
But let me tell you this in my 2 cents,
Yeah.
because now this is going in a different place. I had cred in movies, but I was always like kind of the fifth wheel.
Mm-hmm.
But I worked with huge movies.
Right. You were on big
people.
movies. You weren't
With
the
big
star.
stars.
Yeah.
A lot of stars. Huge stars. I was always the second or third guy in
Mhm.
of their like right hand. There was, I had such a fucking close call on a movie called What Women Want. Mel Gibson. And Mark Feuerstein got it. And he's a great actor. But he was like the more straight, conventional, nice way to do it. And I was a little out there.
Yeah.
So I have been in the rooms with huge $20 million players and been considered or worked with some of them. When I was building my comedy stardom, that was because I wanted to become an entity. And when you become an entity, you can become an entity because Hollywood is run by money. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
You make them money, you can do what you want. And then you can then make your own little indie to get that cred. I would tell anybody coming up, keep your cred. I think I sold out a little early. You don't have to sell out. You can sell out. I don't know what selling out is anymore because I look at people that don't have the box office that I had, but they got this cred. And everyone S is the D of cred. And it's not fair because there's people that are in broad comedies that are very credible. So any young artists out there, keep your fucking cred train going.
I like that. Dude, I'm blown away. Thank you for doing the podcast.
Come on, bro. You know how we do.
Love you.
Keep
Thank
that
you, man.
Google.com.
You're listening to
Unlicensed therapy with Ari Manis.